Good afternoon, everybody. We're glad you're here. If you're watching now, thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, we hope you enjoy the show. Anyway, I'm Mike Jones, Jacksonville's voice of real estate. My beautiful wife and partner, business partner, Cindy's here with me.
Hey there.
Charlie's down here at my feet. Last time, if you saw us on Facebook, he was hung out back there. But we've done a little rearranging here in the studio. Yes, we have a studio now.
Yeah, we had a couch back there before we took it away, so he has to go elsewhere, unfortunately.
But he likes to be underneath my foot. Now, we might get some noise in the background because the Blue Angels are doing some practice runs, and we don't live far from the Navy base, and they have a show here in Jacksonville, Florida this weekend. So if you hear that noise, that's what that is. Going to be a great show. If you're in and around Jacksonville, that's what's going on this week. Besides that, you got the Florida-Georgia football game going on. So this weekend is going to be crazy around here. That's like the biggest cocktail party in the world is what they call that. So anyways, today we are talking about if you're selling a house, we're going to give you 5 ways to actually improve your showings. Showings are very important. First impressions are everything. So we just want to try to help you out and get you prepared for when those buyers do come to look at your house, because you never have a chance to make a second impression or a good second
You never
impression.
have a second chance to make a good first impression.
Thank you. See, that's why I have her.
That's why I'm here.
So anyway, if you're thinking about selling a house right now is a great time. If you price it right, condition it very well. And also, if you have someone taking care of and doing aggressive marketing like we do with our properties, it will sell. I know there's a lot of houses that we're seeing these days sitting on the market a little bit longer. It's taking longer to sell, and you're starting to see a lot more price reductions. But all that means is that somebody priced it too high to begin with. It's very critical that when you price your house, you price it in line with the competition and also with what's sold. And if you have a lot of new construction going on in your area, you need to take that or keep that into consideration as well, because you're also competing against them. And those builders, man, they throw out some incentives as well as some really neat creative financing things as well. So just keep that in mind. If you're priced right, you're conditioned very well, and you're marketed aggressively, you should have no problem selling your house. I think I just did a video the other day. The average days on the market in Jacksonville, Florida, that's Duval County, is 56 days. So that's not really too bad. That has come up a little bit. I think it's come up from about 32 or 35 days. We actually just put a house under contract in 8 days, full price. And as long as the appraisal comes in, we'll be closing that one, and it will be another notch on our belt, so to speak. So let's get to it. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. And if you're watching this anywhere in the United States and you have to buy or sell a house, we've been in the business a very long time. We've got relationships with great real estate agents all across the country. So no matter where you're at, give us a call or contact us, and we can help you find an agent that will suit your needs, not the other way around. So to get started with, we're assuming the 5 things to improve your showings. We're assuming that the house is not vacant. If you got a vacant house, that's a completely different video. We're assuming that it's conditioned properly or professionally staged.
Clean. Yeah.
Okay. This is for when your house is perfect and ready to go at all the time, but now you have someone's coming to see your house. Here's what you need to do. Cindy will start off with number 1.
Okay, so number 1, when you're leaving for your showing, go ahead and turn on all the lights in the house. That includes all of the little lamps that you have around the house, every single light on in the house. That way, when the buyers first walk in, all the lights are on, and you have the best first impression for them to see your house. And that's what they want to do. You want them to do is actually see your house. So the lights on is one of the best things that you can go ahead and do. And by the way, while you're going ahead and turning on all of these lights on in the house, if you happen to notice a light bulb is dead, go ahead and change it out right then. Because I personally, when I show buyers houses and I'm turning lights on, it seems like every house, at least some light bulb somewhere in the house, or sometimes a whole bunch of them are burnt out. It's just make sure you don't have any dead light bulbs, burn out light bulbs. Just go ahead and change those out if you turn them on and they're dead.
Well, sometimes there's people who have in their bathrooms, they have
The row lights.
multi-bulb lighting fixtures. And
yeah.
a lot of times they'll unscrew one or two of the light bulbs out of there because they don't need so many. But it's different when you're showing a home. It's different than when you're living in a home. So you've got to go ahead and put those bulbs back in, make sure that they're all working. It just
it looks nicer.
It does look nicer.
And honestly, I got to tell you, like I said, I show a lot of houses. And sometimes you go into houses that you start turning lights on and you're like, that one doesn't go anywhere. Oh, that one turns those on. Oh, what does that one do? And then you start to think, is the wiring messed up in here? It starts to put negative. Bottom line, what it does is deduct from your price. So it can be worse than just a light bulb that's burnt out. It can be like, oh my, what's going on with the wiring in here? Maybe this house isn't for me. So just let's take all that off the table, turn lights on, get your light bulbs.
Well, and you know, while you're on that subject, the negative connotation, and this goes with everything, in a buyer's mind, when they come to any house, not just yours, they're not thinking of reasons to buy your home. They're thinking of reasons to reject your home.
That's right.
So you don't want to give them any extra ammunition, even if it's just as simple as a light bulb.
That's right.
It really, anything that you can do to not raise objections, as simple as it sounds, do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two.
Okay. Number two, also on your way out, open all of the curtains and the blinds to let all the natural light in as possible. It just goes along with having all the lights on in your house. It just makes it look nicer, and people like to see the outside. It's like the outside coming in, all of the light streaming in. In fact, we were talking earlier, we said no one's ever said, I want a dark house.
I have never heard that.
Dark house. So everybody says, I want lots of light coming in the house. So show them the light that comes into your house. So that's another thing.
Well, and I mean, now use your judgment. If you open up a window and a blind and there's a dumpster outside, you don't want to leave. You keep that one closed, right?
Okay, I'll give you that one.
All right. So, I mean, use your best judgment. If you've got something that's, like, I don't know, maybe your neighbor's got a junky car outside. That's the one window that you can leave closed. You know what I mean?
I'll let you slide on that one.
Because we definitely don't want that. We're not trying to hide anything.
Don't hide
We just don't want people
seeing it right off the bat.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, okay, moving on. Number three.
Number three is just put on some nice, soft music in the house. I'm not talking about anything outrageous.
No hard,
rock and roll,
heavy metal
screaming in the house. Some nice, soft music is a really nice touch. And if you want to go one step further, there's something called aquarium. And if you know what this is, you know what I'm talking about. It's a DVD disc that you can put in, and it'll just show aquarium. It's a video of an aquarium on your TV. It just is a nice little peaceful scenery for your TV instead of like having the news on or something. So gives it more atmosphere to the house.
Now, I'm sure almost everybody these days has a smart TV. I'm sure you can go on YouTube and just Google aquarium scene and make that play for your showings. I mean, or anything, even some kind of a quiet nature scene, something that's just on TV that's not news or cartoons or the Addams Family or something like that. Okay. It just adds a little extra appeal, especially if you've got a TV that's mounted on the wall, a really nice TV or whatever. Okay. Moving on. Number four.
Okay. If you have time and you can do this, bake some cookies and leave them out on the counter. That way the whole house smells of chocolate chip cookies or whatever.
Or an apple pie.
Or an apple pie. My gosh, just imagine this nice, clean house. You got lights on, the sunshine's coming in. You got music on, you got the cookies out, or just an apple pie on a countertop. How nice is that? You're touching all of the senses of the buyer. That's what you're doing.
That's a really good way to put it.
You are touching all of the senses, the sight, the smell, the hearing, everything. You're making this so nice. Believe me, you're there, when these buyers are there, they're going to be hanging out, sitting on the sofa, sitting on the dining chair at the breakfast bar, eating these cookies, and it makes them go, wow, this really feels like home. And they'll say, I don't want to leave. Let's just write the offer right here.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we write the offer right in the house.
And it actually, as an agent, when I'm showing houses, if there's cookies and snacks,
we're staying.
I'm definitely hanging out. And sometimes I mean, you might be driving around the block wondering what these people are doing. They might be eating your cookies, and they
Yeah.
also may be sitting there with their agent writing an offer.
That's
I've
right.
done it before. I've sat at the kitchen counter in someone's house eating their cookies, but writing an offer.
That's right.
When I walk out of there, all I got to do is deliver that offer to the listing agent.
That's right.
And it's done. Now, I know this is sometimes it seems like there's a lot, especially if you work during the day and you're not there, but whatever you can do to make your house more presentable when they show up, the better off you are. You don't want the agent having to fumble around for lights. Another thing too, a lot of security systems out there, if you can arrange to have your security system off when the agent gets there, so the agent doesn't have to say, wait here, tell the buyers, wait at the front door while I go find the alarm and get it turned off. And a lot of times agents set off alarms because there's just so much going on. And this is an alarm system that you're not used to. So if you have one of those alarm systems, if you can disarm it, or, you know, a lot of alarms these days, you can disarm remotely from an app. So whatever you can do to make it easier for the agent to just get those buyers in and just feel it as they go through, the better off that you'll be. Okay.
That's an extra tip there, Realty.
Yeah, that's just a free tip. We're all about bonuses here. So number 5.
Yeah. Number 5, last but not least, y'all, if you have dogs, pets, cats and dogs, we love our pet. We understand. We love our pets. But when a buyer comes to your house, the last thing they want to do, even if you have that dog in a crate, is listen to that dog cry, whine, bark noisily the whole time they're there. And this is what happens. And it also stresses your pet out because here comes the agent, the mom and dad with however many children. They may have their parents with them and friends. You don't ever know. You might have anywhere from 2 to 12 people coming through. Your poor animals, they're stressed out going, oh my gosh, I got these strangers in my house. I can't do nothing about it but sit here and bark in a cage. So it's a major distraction to the buyers while they're at your house. So if you can, at all possible, take the dogs out of the house, the better. The better that it's going to be while someone's there looking.
Here's a couple of stories. Just the other day, here's the Blue Angels.
Oh, here they are. I hope y'all
She was just showing the house the other day. What happened? What was in the laundry room?
Y'all, this was so sad. And I'm talking about animals that are, you know, healthy and thriving and vibrant. Here's what's even worse is an animal that is sick, old. Just last week, I showed a house that they left this tiny little dog, and he was yelping, and it sounded like a kid screaming. Like, where is that coming from? Did they leave a kid in the house? No, y'all. They left this little doggy in the laundry room with the doggy gate and had a sign there that said, I am blind. Please don't pet me. I bite. Y'all, they could have just easily scooped it. And my heart was being pulled at because that makes me very sad. Don't make the buyer sad by leaving a little doggy that's been at the end of its life. That is the worst. You could just imagine. We had another one where the dogs were at the end of their life. They were having seizures in the backyard.
That's not
because
good. Not good.
The owners didn't even want to take them and put them in the truck to leave because they were that at the end of their life.
Well, I know sometimes it's tough. Sometimes
sad.
You can't get around it, but if you can avoid it at all, just do it.
Yeah. So it's very sad for a buyer to see that. So you could imagine, take your dogs out if at all possible. If you can take the cats out, do that. But I understand we've had cats too. I know that they usually just hide under the bed. But the one thing is you don't want to do is, the agents will tell us, hey, there's a couple cats in the house. Just make sure you don't let them out of the door. But here's what happens.
I'll tell you.
Get left open.
Well,
sometimes
somebody told me, they said, hey, just go in, let the dog out in the backyard. He'll be fine. And when you leave, you can bring the dog back in. But I didn't know it. While I was unlocking the front door, the buyer had looked in the backyard. And when they came back out, they didn't shut the gate. I let the dog out. Anyways, I go with my showing and everything. And anyways, come to find out, after the buyer leaves, I realized that the dog is nowhere to be found. He's running down the street. And I have to chase him. I spent like an hour because he would not come to me. And every time I got within about 2 feet, he'd take off again. So it was just one of those things. I'm running down the street in a suit and tie, sweating, and I'm worried that this dog's going to either run out in traffic or I'll never find him and get him back. So it was just a great big hassle. And like Cindy said, we love animals. I mean, I've got Charlie. Life's better with a dog. I'm all about dogs and pets and everything.
Absolutely.
We've had cats and all kinds of animals in the past, but if
During
you
a
can get them
showing.
out of the house during a showing, it's the best thing
Yes.
that you can do.
Absolutely.
That's our 5 tips plus our bonus tip about making your showings.
With the alarm, turn the alarm off.
That was the bonus. But
tip. Yeah.
this is what you do to improve your
Right.
showings on your house. Because like Cindy said, you want to make an impression. First impressions are everything.
Mhm.
If you can get that buyer to enjoy the showing that they're while they're there,
Right.
it's going to set you above all the other houses that they're seeing. And it just puts that little bit of icing on the cake to have all these things in order. So listen, like I said, if you're watching this live, we appreciate you being here. This doesn't tell us who's here. If you're watching the replay, do me a favor, click the like button. We've got a lot of great videos and a lot of content that we want to put out. We've got some series to help home buyers. There's all kinds of financing options out there for 0 down. It's not just VA. You want to stay tuned for that kind of stuff. We've got tips to market your home, even tips to help sell your house without an agent. Don't all the agents that watch this, don't kill me for that. It can be done. It's just, you've got to know what you're doing. What else? Home buying tips. We're going to talk about the real estate market. And by the way, I almost forgot, we just took a new listing out in Ponte Beach.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, beautiful house, big 2-story. I'm trying to remember. I think it's about 33 or 3,500 square feet.
Pool.
Gorgeous screened in pool that overlooks the pond. Really nice house. It's listed at $650, and hopefully next week we'll be able to show you that. We're not actually going to start marketing that until the 27th, which is a couple of days away, and then we're actually going to put it live in the system the first week of November. Really nice house. We got video and professional photos and everything. We've got a website that's going to be live next time we come on the show here live, and we hope to bring it to you then.
So we have this live show every Thursday at 3. We were doing it on Facebook, but now we're moving it over here to YouTube. YouTube Live every Thursday at 3 o'clock. So, and in the interim, we post other videos during the week, just whenever we're out and about, especially Mike doing all the videos about our new properties, things that he sees out in the field.
So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. And besides subscribing, you want to click the little notification bell. So when we do post a new video or go live, you'll get notified. And I promise you, I'm not going to track you down and try to make you buy or sell a house.
We're just here if you need us.
If you need us, if you have a question, put it in the comments below. We will answer those questions as soon as we see the comments there, or we may even bring it up in the next video, do a video on it. And follow me on Instagram, Mike Jones Jacks FL. I'll put those links all in the description box below after the video is done. And we hope that you're going to be here with us every week from here on out. We appreciate you watching. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.